What's up, friends? On today's video, we've got Diecast Show Customs in the house. Xavier has sent in a handful of cars to test on the track, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Diecast Show Customs is the channel name. I'll leave a link to it in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Make sure you click on it. Go check out what he's got to offer. Basically everything in the 1/64th scale kingdom you can expect to see there, from building, modifying, painting, you name it, he's got it. And he has sent in 6 cars for us to test today. These two over here, stock castings, and the rest of these are modifieds. The first one we're going to look at is this MGA Incredible Hulk. Casting right here is stock. And I believe this is supposed to resemble like, I don't know, maybe a Plymouth Barracuda or a Dodge Challenger from the late 60s. It's got pretty good weight, excellent wheels. Next one he sent in is this Real Toy Porsche Cayenne. I have not seen one of these yet. Looks very, very similar to the Hot Wheels 5-spoke wheels. They are a little bit different though. Looks like they've got maybe a slight speed ring on there, but metal body, plastic base. We'll have to see how he does. And he's been making his rounds to a lot of different channels, and these cars right here have been doing some pretty good times on the other channels. This is the Torino Talladega. This is a modified car. You can tell he does have a very extreme cone going on the wheels. We'll get a weight on him in a minute, but he's not extremely heavy. So there's that. Another one, this one with the Coyote livery on the side. Same wheel style as far as, you know, the cone. And that's all in the efforts of reducing track to wheel friction. Again, not super heavy. This one right here is Daredevil, I believe. Yes, Daredevil, a Hot Wheels character car. Metal on metal. This thing actually has some pretty good mass to it. And same treatment for the wheels. And yes, he sent this one to me as a gift. It's the Mercedes 560 SEC AMG. And indeed, that is probably one of my favorite castings from 2023. Glad to have that one in the house. Same coned wheels. Feels like it's relatively stock. But this was a gift from Xavier. Thank you very much for that, sir. And I have had these cars for quite a while now, I must admit. His method of lubrication, he said, tends to expire over time. And he explains all that on his channel. So if you want to find out what he's using, you're going to have to go over there and watch some videos and see what he uses. So in any case, if these things don't perform up to snuff, it's probably that's probably the reason. But at the same time, these cars over here in my rankings, they haven't been touched in a long time either. And I've got some modified cars that we're going to put up against his. These have been sitting in the closet for quite a while now, and they haven't had any wheel work in a very long time. So maybe evens out the playing ground a little bit. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get a weight on these real quick and go from there. 50.4 grams on the Hulk. I did give each of these cars 5 or 6 laps down the track until their time started to equalize to break in what lube they've got on their axles currently. And we're gonna run them down one at a time and just get a baseline time on that, and then we'll put them up against some of the other cars that I've got in my stash. And we are rolling on seamless track in lanes 1 and 2, the timed lanes, all the way down the track now. So I would expect to see a little bit faster times than what you've seen in the past. And let's see how the Hulk goes. .2308. Second pass in lane 1. .2301. Swapping to lane 2. .2312. It appears to like lane 1 a little bit better. Second pass in lane 2. .2323. So .2301 going to be the fast time set forth by the Hulk. And so he's actually going to go up against the 50 to 41 gram. 50.99 is the cutoff point for this weight category. My order of speed goes in this direction. So right now, our gatekeeper is a Matchbox Ferrari 308. Let's see how he does. Straight out of the display, no practice runs for the Ferrari. On your marks, get set, go. Ferrari, 2275 to 2316. And if you've been watching the channel, you know that anything with the 2.2 whatever behind it is running pretty quick. And that car was not running as fast with the segmented tracks. So yeah, track times are getting a little bit quicker with the seamless, which stands to reason. Lane swap hook needs to be to 2275. 2276 to a 2319. So as it sits right now, I've had a few of these cars in the past. The wheels are excellent on them, but well, it doesn't feel like the body's rubbing. I could have sworn that on my other track, it rubs on the other track, but it's not rubbing on this. But you got a lot of room in there for wiggles. So Hulk not getting into the ranks. So we've got him timed, and we'll be seeing him again here shortly. We're gonna move on to the Porsche Cayenne by Real Toy. This one also, I believe, fits in that same weight category. Let's see how he does on his solo runs. Has a good time, 2283. Second pass, lane number 1. Another 2283. Going over to lane number 2. 2282, it's consistent. Second pass in lane number 2. 2283. So 2282 is the fast time sit down by this Porsche. Let's just verify the weight. $50.59, so indeed he's going to go into that same weight category, so he'll be up against the Ferrari. Porsche versus Ferrari. It's a pretty tight race. 2283 to a 2285. Laser swap 2283, the time to beat. Poor Ferrari putting it down. 2268 to a 2287. So in the stock world, that is a tough class to get into. I filtered many cars in that particular weight category. Very tough to get into. A lot of fast cars up here into this area. Appreciate Xavier sending those 2 stock cars in. Let's go ahead and move on over to the modified casting, shall we? Start with AMG. 38.61 grams, relatively lightweight. We'll go ahead and get a few solo runs on each one of these guys. Mercedes in lane 1. Sounds nice and quiet. 2289. Second pass in lane 1. 2286. Picked up 3 thou. First pass in lane 1. 2285. Second pass in lane 2. 2291. So 2285, the fastest time set by this guy. And we will set these down, keep them in order as far as their order of speed. Let's move on over to Daredevil. Daredevil weighing in at 54.4 grams. First pass in lane 1. Sucker's quiet. Wow, 2262, great time by that little car. Second pass, lane 1. 2259, she's getting faster. First pass in lane 2. 2265. Second pass in lane number 2. Let's see if he can beat that 2265. He does. 2260. Hell of a time. Next up, let's take a look at one of these two Torinos. This one, the Coyote. 41.3 grams. First pass in lane 1. Nice and quiet. 2263. Great time for such a lightweight car. Second pass in lane number 1. 2272. First pass in lane 2. 2267. Ripping off a fast one. Last pass in lane 2. 2263. The time to beat. Let's see if you can do it. No, 2280. So 2263 fast time on the Coyote. And the second Torino. This one, the Energizer. Nice paint job on that one. Nice paint job on both of them, to be honest. 46.72 grams. First pass in lane 1. 2277. Second pass in lane 1. 2275. First pass in lane 2. 2269. That's his fastest lap so far. Last pass in lane 2. 2269. The time to best. 2270. So 2269 is going to be the fastest pass with the Energizer Torino. Okay, these 4 cars sorted out in the order of speed. So we're going to go ahead and start first with the AMG. See if we've got anything in this bag of tricks over here. What do you want to see? Fastest to slowest. At least that's how it was kind of set up on my old track. I don't know how these are going to perform on the new one. I'm assuming they're going to do a little bit better than they were. What do you want to see? Let's do one of the old builds I've got. Old FTE Dodge Charger. Looking pretty good. This guy never really ran all that well. He tended to swim around a little bit on the track. Imagine that's probably not going to change much. So Charger versus the AMG. Not a bad race, but that's a terrible time. 2304 to 2286. I wasn't looking at it to see if it was swimming. I'm assuming it was. So, this guy, what is that? 84 Pontiac, metal on metal with the high-speed wheels. He's kind of narrow. We'll see how he does. He is not all that good of a performer. Mercedes versus Pontiac. 2287 to a 2294. Yeah. It's not what you want to see, is it? What do you want to see? How about this guy? Can't tell you what it is. Some kind of Nissan. What, 2? I don't know what it is. I like it. So, most of these cars were built for either 60 or 70 gram racing. I don't have any lightweight builds, unfortunately. At least none finished worth a flip. Let's see how this does. Oh, he's not too bad. 2276 to a 2282. If you remember the 2276, I think gatekeeper area of my stack on the stock cars is somewhere around there. So these cars, they need a little bit of help. Imagine a little bit of weight in that Mercedes would probably do a lot of good. That guy just, he never really panned out for me. Swapping lanes. 2278 to 2290. Okay, so at least got to see that car. And do a Johnny Lightning wheel swap, faster than ever wheels. See how it does. Again, I haven't touched these cars in a long time as far as dusting them goes. I'm not sure how much he weighs. I may have to weigh him up after this race. First run. That was a pretty even race. 22.83 to a 22.85. Okay. All right. Pretty even right there. I don't care for Rescue Rangers. Let's do the Camaro. This guy is just basically a premium wheel swap with some nickel color shifter axles. One of my early builds. Here we go. Okay, 22.77 to a 22.85. Probably that is where the buck is gonna stop for the Mercedes. Yeah, that Camaro isn't too bad. I almost said Mustang. Dumbass. Let's try it again. 22.77, time to beat. Run 2. Oh, wow. 22.64. 22.87. Okay, so yeah, buck stops there with the Merc. Let's see, we were getting mid 2260s with this guy. And the Camaro just did a 2264, so that would probably be a good place to start off. What do you think? This new track is kind of slippery. So far, I like it. It's quiet. 2267 to a 2279. What happened to the Energizer? I do not know. Lane swap, let's see if he can do a little better. Oh, he does. Big time. 2262 to a 2280. I don't remember what that first time was by the Camaro, but I don't think it was a 2262. So, put him back in the box. I think you remember that guy right there. That was the turd of a Cougar that I made the modified video with. Didn't run all that good, but he still ranks. He's still in my possession. Let's see how he does. Ready, set, go. He's a turd. 2284 to 2270. All right, back in the box you go. Don't care nothing about that. How about a Lambo? Does a fast Lambo exist? At least in the 64th scale world. I don't know. We'll see how it does. Ready, set, go. That's a pretty good race. Looks like they were pretty even till about 2/3 of the way down. The Lambo just stretched its legs out a little bit. 2264 to 2272. 2264, the time to beat. Lanes are swapped. 2263 to a 2289. Okay, so looks like Energizer getting stopped by the Lambo. All right, Coyote, he was about 6 thousandths faster on his fastest pass in the solo runs, so we'll set him up here. And who do you want to pick on next? We're not going to do him. How about a BMW? I don't know what it is. BMW M3 E46. Those are the kind of mods I like doing. I like them to look real. They got full interiors and stuff. That guy probably weighs around 70 grams, so he definitely outweighs this guy. But some of them turn out pretty good. Some of them, some of them are busts. That was a pretty damn good race. 2265 to a 2271. Looked pretty even going all the way down the track. I think what's happening is these Torinos, I think the bodies are rubbing just a little bit, not much. Yeah, they're rubbing for sure. I think what's happening is they're getting a good run down the ramp, and then at some point down on the track, they're scrubbing speed a little bit. 2265 by the BMW. Let's see if the Talladega can do a little better. Yeah, see, about halfway down the track, and then it takes off. 2262 to a 2283. Okay. Let's do a classics matchup, shall we? Death Proof Nova. This one was off at Blue Line for a Nova race a long time ago. He's kind of narrow, not gonna lie. Might be a little bit better, who knows? Ready, steady, go. Death Proof's pretty quick. Oh shit. Okay. Let's back that one back a little bit. Not bad. Bone Shaker, another one that went off to a Halloween race at Blue Line Racing. See how this goes. And go. A little bit more even of a race. That Bone Shaker though, 2252 to a 2261. So I'm gonna call that good. That's how it goes, man. You go to somebody else's track and they have cars that are specifically filtered for their track surface / ramp height and everything like that. Daredevil, who does Daredevil want to go up against? He was running 2260. Well, let's just jump up here a little bit. I call this the Red Pill Supra. It's a Supra. Might be a little unfair. I think he's right around 65 grams. You know, fun unless you see some of the fast boys run, right? All right, that's a pretty good race though. 2251 to a 2256. Very, very even there. Let's see if Daredevil can go a little faster. All right. Lane swappage, 2251, the time to beat. 2247 to a 2252, so the old Red Pill Supra. No, that's not a red pill car. I just call it that because it's red. Frank, if you're out there, props, brother. What is this? 2020 Dodge Charger. This one right here has got, I think I just wheel swapped this. Maybe lube the axles. It was not really a completed car with extra weight, I don't think. Let's weigh it. 59.7. So right at the 60 gram point. I don't think that has any added weight, but it is fairly wide. Let's see how he does. Ready, set, go. 2252 to a 2259, pretty close. This guy right here with a little bit more work, probably be pretty quick. But 2250s is very fast. At least it was for the old track. The new track, we gotta go through and find out what's fast now. 2252, the time to beat. Charger just getting the edge by 5 thousandths. 2251 to a 2256. So I'm actually pretty happy with that Charger for not having anything done to it. Let's back down to the Beamer. I don't think we ran the Beamer against Daredevil. Should be a pretty close race. Oh, Daredevil gets it 2256 to a 2261. So yeah, he's gonna probably beat the BMW out. So swap them up. Pretty quick little car. That was one I did not have on my radar. Didn't know it was metal on metal. Let's see, 22:56, the time to beat. And he's gonna do it. Another 22:56. So BMW, not gonna be able to stop him. I guess we can run the old BS again. I don't think we ran him against this guy. All right, here we go. Let's race. 22:52 to a 22:57. So Bone Shaker taking care of that one. 22:52, the time to beat. Bone Shaker dispatching Daredevil. Another 22:52. At least the track's running fairly consistent. So Bone Shaker, check him out. Pretty cool little car. Hope Daredevil's gonna fit between these two right here. All right, what do you want to do now? That was all of them tested out from Xavier. Thank you very much. Again, Diecast Show Customs, make sure you go over and check out his channel if you haven't already. And what do you want to do? You want to run some more? Why not? Built this one quite a while ago, 70-gram car. Had some base modifications done. Yep, that's what I do. Well, see how the Ford GT runs. He was one of my faster cars on the old track. He's quiet. Holy smokes, 22:32. Wow, okay. Still fast. Love it. Okay, 22:32 in lane 1. Lane 2. 22:36, so 4,000 slower in lane number 2. Not bad time. This one was one I built for DXP Racing's Honda shootout. And yeah, it looks like an Acura NSX, right? But it does say Honda down there, so I sent it. Let's see how he does. He ran really, really good before I shipped them off. And then at the race, he just kind of, he did okay. Let's see what he does now. 22:32, awfully similar in time to the Ford. So, little bonus racing footage. Ford GT versus the NSX. Ready, steady, go. Ford GT. 22:32 to a 22:38. So, yeah, it looks like lane 2, a few thousand slower. Ought to be interesting with the heavyweights coming up. Let's see. Little red Corvette. Yep. That one went to Blue Line for a race. Pretty wide. I think he's a little bit below 70 grams. 22:38. Okay. Let's put him in lane 2. And this guy, the Valvoline Studebaker. I built this one to be a little on the heavy side. 93 grams. A little bit of an unfair advantage up against this vet. But it's what we got. See how he does. Edges the vet out. 22:35 to a 22:44. Laser swap, 22:35, the time to beat. 22:43 to a 22:49. So 22:35 set by the Studebaker. And again, is that a track record? Yeah, but we've got the new seamless to worry about. So all the other times kind of get thrown out the window. It's a little bit of a look into my modified box. I've got more on the other side. Wanna look at them? You want to snoop around?
Go ahead. Snoop around.
There's the other ones. In some level of completion. Not done yet, though. Someday. No hurry, right? Again, thank you, Xavier, for sending the cars in. I apologize for taking so long to get the video out. Life gets in the way, man. I hope I did them justice, and I hope that you trust me again to send some more cars in. If you do, then I will get them done in a little bit more timely fashion. So if the lube evaporation is a problem, which it probably was, well, we can always do a retry if you're game. That's all I got for you on this one. Next video, gonna be the qualifying round of the 2023 Heavyweight Championship race. Your Scale Racing channel. Appreciate you guys hanging around with me for a little while. Until next time, y'all stay healthy, have fun racing.
Bye.